Day 5 of the Irish Coast cycle sees me waking to a wonderful dawn on the Millewy at Silver Strand, and then taking off to cycle to Westport, where I was going to be catching a train back to Dublin, so ending what I could call leg 1 of the cycle. In fact, the following day I would be again setting out, and we'll see that in the next video I upload. But for today I stopped at Louisburg for a very welcome cup of coffee before taking a slight detour down to Old Head Beach. I totally recommend this. It's yet another Wild Atlantic Way stop underneath the shadow of Croagh Patrick, and a great safe place to swim as well because it's sheltered, and you commonly see people swimming there. It is a popular beach surrounded by holiday homes, so not a good wild camping spot in high season. You'd probably get away with it early in the year though. There's some advertised Wild Atlantic Trail cycleways in the vicinity of Louisburg. I think there's a focus on doing that from Louisburg because those are actually very quiet roads, and of course some of them are the ones we cycled yesterday, whereas the roads from Louisburg to Westport are actually very busy. They're quite heavy traffic. There's only a couple of sections have any sort of cycleway to them. There are a couple of diversions you can avoid the worst, but they're not great. Next, to stop at Ireland's most famous sacred mountain, Croagh Patrick. It sees a Christian pilgrimage on Reek Sunday every year where people climb to the top, but that tradition seems to be going far back, way before Christianity even arrived in Ireland, in fact, and was later borrowed. So this is the famine memorial across the road from the Croagh Park walk start. I'm not too sure about it myself. It's a bit Halloween-like with the skeletons. There's also another walk at Murrisk, straight across the road from all this, which brings you down past the Abbey, and then a loop down to the beach. Again, I think it's probably a spot you'd get away with while camping, particularly out of season. Bringing myself in for a brief administrative note. So I'm now going to be getting the train to Dublin from Westport, and then immediately the following morning I'm going to be cycling to Carlingford, and the reason for that is that it was my mother's birthday, so that was the way I worked out how to do it. So the Irish Coast cycle at this point is going to take the first of its leaps from the west coast to the east coast, and unlike my cycle around Scotland, which is basically a continuous month, I think I have now done about 8 stages of the Irish Coast cycle. So it's going to hop back and forth a little bit like this. As I complete it, I'm also going to put up a playlist that will be continuous geographically. So I'll rearrange the days so they're not in sequential order, but rather you'll be able to follow the playlist that goes all the way from Rosslare around the Wild Atlantic Way to Antrim, for instance. But for now, they're all going in sequentially. I hope that's grand with you. My final act on this part of the West Coast was the traditional pint and a meal before I caught that train back to Dublin. If you've been enjoying these so far, make sure you've given the channel a follow so you get a notification when I post new videos, and please do give this one the thumbs up.